Hello friends, today we are going to see the next chapter, that is the air we breathe. In this chapter we are going to see the purpose of breathing and which organs are useful or which organs are taking part in the breathing. We use our nose to smell and breathe. Breathing is a simple physical process that involves an exchange of gases between organism and its surrounding. Organism and its surrounding. Organism, let's consider human being. Now here the exchange of gases happens in between human being and the surrounding by giving and taking. Next is it is a continuous process. As long as we are alive, we continue to breathe. Yeah. It is said once we stop breathing, we are declared as dead. So as long as we breathe, we are alive. We breathe through nose and sometimes through mouth. Here, if you see, sometimes when we are suffering from cold, we breathe through our mouth. Or when we are doing physical exercise, we mean to inhale the air through our mouth. When we breathe, we take oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide. The air is a mixture of many gases, but human being we only take the oxygen from the environment, which we call as inhalation, and we release the gas out in carbon dioxide form, which we call as exhalation. Inhalation oxygen, exhalation carbon dioxide. Let us study the respiratory system, how it works with the help of a small video.
About breathing and the respiratory system today. Humans breathe through something called the respiratory system. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. This process is called respiration. Breathing happens automatically, and every day we breathe about 20,000 times. Breathing occurs in our respiratory system. This includes the nose, throat, voice box, windpipe, and the lungs. Let's see the parts and functions. The nostrils bring air inside the nose, where it gets warmed and filtered. Inside the nostrils, there are cilia that protect the nasal passageways. Sometimes air is breathed in through the mouth. The two airways of the mouth and nose meet at the pharynx. There are two paths, one for food called the esophagus, and another for air called trachea. We have a leaf-shaped flap of tissue called the epiglottis that keeps food from entering the windpipe and the lungs. The larynx or voice box is about 5 centimeters long, located between the pharynx and the trachea. Our vocal cords are found there. The windpipe or trachea is a tube about 3 centimeters.
This particular tube we can see in our neck part.
Extending downwards from the bottom of the larynx for about 12 centimeters. The walls of the trachea are covered with stiff rings of cartilage that keep it open. It's lined with small hairs that sweeps fluids and foreign particles.
Now, stiff rings of cartilage. If you touch your neck and see, you can find some ring-like structures, which are like a bones which protects your trachea.
Out of the airways. The windpipe divides into two parts, and each of these enters the lungs, dividing into tinier branches called the bronchioles. They end in alveoli that are tiny air sacs within the lungs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. It's surrounded by capillaries. The oxygen passes through these air sacs and travels through the walls of capillary into the bloodstream. At the same time, carbon dioxide flows from the bloodstream into the air sacs, where it gets breathed out of the body. When we exercise, our body needs more oxygen because the muscles work harder than normal, so we breathe more deeply and quickly. More capillaries form around the air sacs, and due to
You can see these blue color bubbles. They represent oxygen mixed into the blood cells. The air which we breathe, it mixes up in our blood.
this, the body gets better at swapping
Now you can see here
oxygen
the red bubbles are releasing the red colored bubbles. This red part is our blood cell, and these are our carbon dioxide which comes out from our blood.
and carbon dioxide. Eating healthy foods and exercising can help keep your respiratory system.
We need to exercise for our better health. Also, yoga is included in that. Now, we will see blow hot and blow cold. Now, what is blow hot and blow cold? If you breathe out, the breathe which you breathe out means when you exhale, we can use it for many purposes. The air that we breathe out finds many applications in our daily life. Now, what are applications? First, we'll see the video and then we'll discuss. Watch this video carefully. What it means. How does hot and cold air comes from our mouth, or when it is required?
You must have seen people blowing air from their mouth on their hands during cold winters. This makes the hand warm. You must have also seen people blowing air in hot coffee. This makes the coffee cold. Hot and cold air. When we blow air into cool things, the air from the mouth is comparatively hot and it transfers the heat to the cold thing. Similarly, for a hot thing, the air from the mouth is comparatively less hot and so helps in making the things cold. Warming hands. If you keep your hands at some distance from the mouth and blow air, this time the air from the mouth does not feel much warm. Do you know why? As there is distance between the hand and the mouth, the air gets mixed up with outside air and thus becomes cooler. Uses of blowing air. You must have seen your grandfather blowing on their spectacles to wipe them clean. The air blown from the mouth is hot and the glass of the spectacles is comparatively cold. The hot air breathed out contains water vapors, which turns into tiny droplets of water when it comes in contact with the colder glass. This makes the glass moist and hazy, and you can wipe to clean the glass.
Breathing rate. We have seen the hot air, cold air means hot breathe and cold, hot blow and cold blow. We also saw respiration. We also saw the organs involved in our respiration system. Now we will see breathing rate. The average breathing rate of an adult is about 12 to 18. It is given as 16 to 18. It is 12 to 18 times per minute. It takes 2 seconds to breathe in and 2 seconds to breathe out. The breathing rate of an 7-year child is about 30 minutes per time. The breathing rate of an 1-year-old child is about 40 times per minute. Let us understand the same concept with the help of an animation video.
is one inhalation and one exhalation. The number of times a person breathes during a minute is called his breathing rate. The breathing rate depends on need of oxygen, which in turn depend on need of energy. Example, during running or in excessive movements, we need more energy and hence need more oxygen. To obtain more oxygen, we breathe at higher rate. However, when we are relaxed or sleeping, we need little amount of energy and therefore little amount of oxygen is needed. In such condition, the breathing rate is lower. On an average, a normal human body is breathing at a rate of 12 to 18 breaths per minute. During heavy movements, it may increase up to 25 breaths per minute, while during relaxed state, it can go down to 12 breaths per minute. In addition to heavy breathing, during excessive movements, we also take deep breaths so as to get more oxygen during each breath.